This small chalice in the Met's collection used to be one of the most famous pieces of silver in the world. Found in Antioch, Turkey in 1910, the cup was proclaimed by some scholars to be the Holy Grail, the cup from which Christ drank at the Last Supper. What about this cup made it such a convincing candidate for the Grail?
The work is unique, and it's exceptionally interesting technically because you have a very elaborate cup that's made of vine scrolls, and inside of it is a very simple metal container, and they're both silver, and there's a foot that it stands on. So the argument was that the inside was in a way so simple that to have made this elaborate cage for it, it had to be very important. And what could be more important is you're trying to prove that there was a real Christ who walked and talked and could be found in some way in Bethlehem or other places that our biblical texts tell us that he was present, than to find the Holy Grail, the beginning of the Eucharist, the Mass of the Christian Church. So there was a need among scholars to identify such a thing. There's still a need from people to want to find these things and touch them. The chalice is shown in the first great show of Byzantine art in Paris in 1931. It's shown in 1933 at the Chicago World's Fair as the Holy Grail. And there are apparently huge lines waiting to get in. So you have a public acceptance at a rather high level of its importance.
Recent scholarly study has revealed that this cup may not be a cup at all.
Most things that have been called the Holy Grail over time have been things that have been made out of gemstones or something else. We want what we are looking for to be as wonderful as we think it ought to be. The questions that maybe weren't asked was, what evidence do we have that Christ held the Last Supper, used silver as its serving utensils? Chalices in the Christian world have cups of varying sizes, a knop for the priest to have something to hold on to, and a flared foot. And by the date that we associate the chalice of Antioch with, that's actually the shape of standing lamps. And so I would agree with those who argue that it was not made for drinking from, but in fact it was filled with oil and set out a light.
Lamp or cup, this ancient object continues to be surrounded by more questions than answers.